I'm a men's style and fashion enthusiast. I am someone who is very image conscious and tries to dress well for most occasions, and I always try to further my education and knowledge on men's style and men's fashion in general. I do what I do because I think it's a great way to show one's individual style and represent oneself non-verbally to everybody around them, and depending on what style of clothing that they particularly like. It's very hard to define what men's style is due to all the different cultures and regions and ethnicities and income levels throughout the world. For me personally, I believe men's style is just a way for one person to represent themselves and differentiate themselves from their peers and others around them, as well as representing themselves in a positive light. My personal style is kind of a hybrid of two beings. I very much enjoy classical men's style while also putting a modern day spin on it in terms of fit, such as if pants are the right length. Back in the day, people had very long pants. Nowadays, pants are getting shorter. But when they go too short, I think that looks kind of weird. So it's a middle ground. I'm also a big fan of handcrafted things. I'm a sucker for things that have handwork and that are handmade. I think they have a lot of character, much more so than things that are made with machines. I also like to notice people's style themselves, like people when they do things correctly, such as when somebody has a nice pair of shoes and they match it with a great belt, or if they have a custom suit that has a lot of handwork in it, or if it's a brand that's very reputable and has a lot of rich history behind it. Those are that's stuff I look out for, and stuff that I try to emulate and bring into my life in a way that reflects who I am. When something is handmade or there is handwork put into a product, it has character, such as the character from the person who put the work into it. It has its own sense of self, in a way. It's different from any other handmade item that is like it, just because it's made by one person and one person has their own way of doing something. It's also just noticeably different in terms of quality. When something is machine made, they're all the same, mundane. They have no entity to them. When something is handmade, the passion and the emotion, the care that goes into that item is just phenomenal, and something that I look for and I appreciate very much. You're paying $400 for shoes that have a lot of handwork put into them, that are hand painted, that have hand welts into them, which is when the upper leather of the shoe, the part that you see, is Goodyear welted by hand onto the sole, which is the part that you walk on. I think that has a lot more character than something that is merely Blake stitched, which is just a single thread that connects the sole to the upper, that's done by machine. I would gladly pay more money for handwork that I know is quality versus something that's machine made that I know could fail. I think the line between handcrafted and machine made it's very hard to distinguish to the untrained eye. If you know what you're looking for, you will notice things that are handmade, such as like pick stitches that are done on the lapels of suits, or these buttons which are functional and only come on sleeves that are done by hand, because a machine cannot perform the intricacies that a human hand can when it comes to sewing these buttons onto the sleeve, especially in this kissing form, which is very hard to do by machine. Another aspect of handcrafted that I love are these glasses, or another piece of clothing that I have are these glasses that are handmade in Oregon. They're handmade with wood and acetate it's from nature, and I think it just adds a lot more character, and it just shows a lot more care for the product, as opposed to if it was just like Ray-Ban, where it's injection molded and there's like no care to it. It's all just machine assembled. Stuff that is handmade and put together by hand just shows a true appreciation for that product. A great place to start for people who are on a budget would be places like Macy's or Von Maur, or if you are willing to spend a little bit more, you can go to Robert Redding's, which is just off Veterans, and the quality, because it's like a boutique type store, just jumps exponentially. Sure, you pay a little bit more, but the quality of the garments and the history that is the brands of the clothing that he carries and the craftsmanship that goes into it is just exceptional. He also does custom suits for anyone that could be hard to fit for off-the-rack suits. He has a tailor in store, even a straight razor bar. I truly think it's the best menswear store in town. I have put probably thousands of hours of my own time into just learning and researching through YouTube, because there's so many expert people on YouTube that have great channels that will provide you with all the information you ever need, such as I Am Alpha M, for example, or Real Man Real Style, Teaching Men's Fashion, or Gentleman's Gazette. Any of those four will provide you with all the information that you could possibly ever need. I believe style is a great hobby to get into for anybody that is aspiring to enter the professional world and to be taken in a professional manner, as it shows everybody that you are indeed like an expert at something, or it shows that you are above and beyond the competition. It's also just a great way to further your knowledge, as you can learn about the history, and you can learn about what goes into garments. You can learn to appreciate different articles of clothing that you might see people wearing. You can style yourself in a manner that is just, in a way, to others strange, but for you and people like you, they will understand. And it's just a great way to help build one's confidence and exude that power that they know themselves to have.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Hey, no problem.